Everybody, and welcome back into the Front Four podcast. I'm your co-host Anthony Rivardo, joined by my co-host Mark Hall, and today we have a very special guest. We're joined by Texas A&M defensive lineman DJ Hicks. DJ, thank you for joining us. How are you doing today, my friend?
I'm doing good, no problem. Anytime, anytime.
All right, appreciate you joining, Mark. I know you've got some exciting stuff to discuss here with DJ. You guys go way back. Why don't you share some backstory on the relationship that you guys have, and I'll let you kick it off.
Cool, man. First off, obviously, thank you for coming on, DJ. I know you have a pretty tough schedule right now with spring being in, man. So we definitely appreciate you coming on and being able to chop it up with us. Obviously, as Anthony said, you have a very lengthy background, and been knowing you for a long time. Obviously, before you even born.
Yeah.
Obviously his father played at Grambling. His mom went to Grambling as well. Had the opportunity to coach his dad at Grambling, outside backer, defensive end. Also, I was a strength coach when he got there, so I had the opportunity to coach his dad. Great relationship with his mom. Been knowing his mom for obviously over 20-something years. Great person, stuff like that, man. And, been knowing him since he was a young guy coming up. Even when I was down in Texas, outside of Houston and Katy, had the opportunity to do some small work with him when he was a junior. Junior high. Not even high school, high kid, and you just kind of saw it in him there. And great physique, good explosiveness, great work ethics, man. So we definitely, again, we want to thank you for coming on, man, spending some time with us. I guess how I want to start it off is, just basically want to talk about, because it's something we don't do much, is talk with the collegiate kids and kind of talk about, how it's been for you the past 3 years at Texas A&M and what your experience has been like, and what you look forward to doing this year on the field. So you can just probably start from there, man. Just how's everything been going with you?
Yeah, everything's been good. Just been practicing, playing hard, trying to get ready for the season. Being here 3 years, my first year, I came knowing that I had some dudes in front of me. Walter Nolan, first round pick, McKinley Jackson, third round pick. Samar Turner, third round pick, like a whole bunch of dudes was always in front of me. I was always behind them, just learning, getting better throughout the time. Even last year, I had some of my teammates that's gonna get drafted this year that I was behind. So really, just the whole college experience has just been a learning experience for me and just growing as a player. And that's really how it's been for me so far throughout the season.
For sure, man. You being a Texas kid and not being from not far down the road down in Katy, playing out there in Katy high school football. How has the transition been, going from, that level of ball to coming to the SEC, which is big time ball, being one of the top rated, defensive, if not the number one defensive tackle in the nation coming out of high school. How was that transition for you in regards to, just, accountability and work ethics and expectations and stuff like that? How did that go for you?
My dad installed work ethic in me and accountability, all of that in me throughout high school because, he was my D-line coach. So I was always used to that. It's just when I got to the college level, it was more, the game was just faster. Dudes are bigger, stronger, smarter. They know a little bit more stuff than I did. So it was a lot of adjusting that way. But when it came to accountability and stuff like that, my parents installed that in me at a young age. So I was good with that.
Cool.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and you mentioned there that you had a lot of players in front of you early in your time at Texas A&M, but now going into your senior year, you're kind of a leading man in that pack. How does that kind of change your mentality as you go into this next season?
I just want to be a leader to all the people that are coming in as freshmen, sophomores, people that are younger than me. Just show them, set an example, for everybody that's around me, and really just take on that role that everybody had took on for me. So I think that's like the biggest difference now. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Also, too, going into last year, I think that, you obviously came out here and got some work in with me out here in Vegas. And, we talked about some things that you wanted to do different. Let's fast forward that to this year. What right now have you been working on to improve your game? Whether that be film study, moves, weight room, like what have you been doing different to try to, just make sure, because I feel like this year you'll be a full-time starter. So what are the biggest differences that you had to do to be able to make that transition?
So one of my big things I feel like was Just my weight, like, it go up and down, all the time. I've been really trying to maintain it. Lost about 10 pounds, 290 right now. So just that was the main thing. And then this off season, when it comes to like technique, I've been working on just getting off the rock, because I feel like when I get off the ball, I play a lot better than when I try to play timid. So just focus on getting off the rock, really learning offensive schemes and stuff like that with my coaching staff and stuff like that. That's been the biggest things I've really been working on this offseason, trying to attack like the whole off season. So
Like, watching you play, like, what do you feel that you fit along the defensive line? Do you feel like you have the versatility to kind of play the nose, 4-eye, 2-eye, go outside of the 5 or a 7? Do you feel like you have the amount of versatility that your team needs you to have right now to really be successful up front?
Yes, sir. I feel like I could play any position you want to put me at. I played it before my freshman year of college. I played in sophomore and junior year. I played straight D tackle. So now I feel like being able to play both, I'll still be able to do it. So if you want to line me up at a 0, you want to line me up at a 5, 7, 9, 4-eye, whatever you want to put me at, I feel like I can play it.
Cool.
Yeah, and you play with a lot of power, and you're really good against the run. And but playing good against the run is one part of it. You also got to get after the quarterback. Is there a specific pass rush move that you're working on, or something in that technique of getting after the quarterback that maybe you're working on and trying to improve?
I'm trying to improve my power game. I feel like if they can respect your power, they're going to respect everything else. So just being able to put my hands on somebody and just going through their face, like, that's really the biggest thing that I'm really trying to improve right now, for sure.
That's that double move we talked about. I think a lot we talk about making sure we're creating double moves, getting knocked back off the line, being able to choose a side, being able to choose an angle where you want to go. Obviously you're going into spring training and you're going to the spring game. Like, I think that's one of the biggest things that guys want to see from you. Are you able to transition from run to pass? I think that's going to be big with you this year, as well as other defensive tackle in the inside. Do you have a fastball? Do you have a move that you really, really love and it's your go-to? It's a high percentage pass rush move right now?
Just watching all my film this past couple of weeks, I feel like a lot of my moves have always came off like power. That I feel like that's my fastball. And then I feel like my changeup has been like my double swipe or just slap swim, something like that. So
Okay. That's cool.
Yeah.
And you've mentioned a lot that you do a lot of film study and you watch yourself. And obviously you've played with some great players, but who else do you watch? Is there any specific defensive lineman that you like to study and try and model your game after?
I like watching Justin Madubuike. I feel like my game might translate a little bit towards his. I watched Shamar Turner, like, when he was here. My teammate last year, Teller Onyedum, I watched some of his stuff. Really just be watching everybody, pretty much, like everybody around the country. I want to see what everybody be doing, just trying to pick little parts of everybody game, add it to mine.
You have anybody particular that you think is very similar to you that's in the NFL right now in regards to how they're very, very similar to?
Yeah, I think Madubuike. I feel like is a similar guy to me. We're close to around the same height. I feel like we both play with the same little pop, a little power, stuff like that. So I think me and his game kind of translate kind of together.
Okay, because I had you. I feel like, and you've been around. I feel like your game and Christian's game is a bit the same. Christian Wilkins. You had the opportunity to work with Christian 2 years ago when we were down in Miami and stuff like that. Well, more than that now. Some years ago down in Miami, I kind of felt like you guys kind of move similar and stuff like that. Twitchy guys that are stout off the ball, able to get into the gap and create moves for themselves. I think that a kid like you definitely needs to make sure that you know what I'm saying, you dot all the I's and cross all the T's in regards to preparation, watching film, understanding what an offensive lineman is doing to you or trying to do to you in every situation, so that you can counter that. College, being in college, do you feel like you guys really have the time to kind of do all those things with a coach, or is that something that you guys have to kind of work on your own?
You only can get so much in with your coach. If you just waiting at home and just doing stuff with your coach only, you're not gonna get everything. So you just got to make the time. It's gonna be hard sometimes. You got classes and stuff, but if you really want to do it, you're gonna make the time to figure out how to get it done.
That's one of the things I noticed about you. You had the opportunity to work with a lot of private defensive line coaches, whether that's pass rush or whatever it is, strength and conditioning. Even when you go work with Kerry, KB down there, and Katie, I noticed that you're always trying to stay busy and trying to stay active. Do you feel like, working on your craft outside of the game has helped you tremendously, or do you feel like it's just something that's a part of your schedule?
I feel like working on my craft outside has like helped me a lot. I feel like, to be honest with myself, I know my sophomore year, I feel like going into my sophomore year, I relaxed, and I feel like I wasn't doing as much of that stuff, and I saw my game decline off of that. And then ever since I started really getting back on what I was growing up taught to do, like I've been seeing my game actually get better and better and better and progress. So I think it actually helps. Yeah, for sure.
And obviously, we've talked a lot about work ethic and, putting in that extra work and stuff. But when you're not working, what are you into? Why don't you let the people know, like, you as a person, what do you like to do? I see the video game. Is that Pac-Man in the background? What's that?
Street Fighter. Well, Street Fighter game.
Nice.
Probably played it like twice, though. But
you got a new crib.
Yeah. Little crib, coach.
You got your picture around. You got your plant right there. What's that picture back there?
That's my second against LSU last year. Yeah.
Into a wall flyer, man. That's dope.
Yeah. But I like to I like to fish. I like to play the game. I like to hang out with my friends. Really just kick back, relax. I don't really do much of anything else, but pretty much all I be doing, pretty much.
And also too, I know people don't know, so I have a great relationship with your D-line coach, Coach Eddie. Had the opportunity to do some work with him when he was a player for the Niners. Tell me what the difference is that he's brought to the table in regards to your game and in regards to what your front, especially the inside guys, are bringing to the table this year. Is there anything different that he kind of brings to the table that helps you out a lot?
Yeah, yes, sir. Coach Tony he know how to get the best out of all of us. Like, he know what's gonna make you tick. He know what's gonna make you go. So I feel like that's one of his biggest things is like, if you come in the building ready to work, and we're gonna be all right, every single day. And he's taught me a lot of stuff when it comes to the run game and how to play different blocks, how to get around different stuff like that, like different techniques. So I think that's the biggest things for sure.
Also, too, a lot of people may not know this, but your father has been coaching you pretty much your whole, middle school and high school career. What kind of effects did that have in regards to, like, speeding up your knowledge of the game and stuff like that?
Yeah, it had a tremendous effect. My dad being my coach, I pretty much was always in a room with the coaches, always seeing everything, knowing ball. I knew a lot of stuff that I thought everybody knew just because I was always around my dad, and I'm really grateful for that for sure, because it gave me a head start when it really just came to the game of football and not having to come to college and learn what a 3 technique is, or what a 2-eye is, or what gap I'm going here, or like when we stunt, what I got to do here. I was already taught that working with my dad. And even now, like if I'm watching film, he'll come up here, watch film with me, and we'll break it down and just talk about it. So it's helped me a lot, tremendously, really.
That's what's up. That's dope.
Yeah.
You've got that picture on the wall behind you, the sack against LSU. Is there a specific game, whether it's that one or any other, where you can introduce somebody to your game? Like if somebody wants to kind of get some more exposure to you, take a look at your film and get to know what you're all about, what's that complete game that you have that you want to point them towards?
I think my best game was Notre Dame this year. I feel like everything was just clicking. Like everything was moving slow motion for me. And it just was one of those moments like where you just in that zone and it's like, dang, play after play after play after play. You know what I mean? So I think that's something, like, if you really want to watch my game and see who I am, I think you should watch the Notre Dame game or the LSU game this year.
That's another thing too. Like going into this year, my big thing I wanted to talk to you about is just making sure you stay with that tenacity and have that consistency with that tenacity. I think if you can do that, play every play like it's your last play with your head on fire, I think that's when you're really going to see the success that you're going to see up front. Hard to do that sometimes, but definitely going into your senior year, that's a must. So
yeah.
How do you every game prepared mentally to be able to go out there and do battle interest and not have a fall off.
Yeah. So what I learned what works best for me is at least I gotta watch film. Like I'm not the type of guy that can't watch film and just go to the game and play. I gotta watch film. I gotta see what they're gonna do. I gotta see how their blocking scheme is, their tendencies, what they like to do on third down, even the quarterback snap count, like if he do something like clap his hands before the play or he look to the right or something very minute, I just gotta watch film. That's one of the biggest things. And then before the game, I put on my headphones, I just get locked in and then after that it's just reps. It's time to ball, pretty much. Yeah. Biggest thing. So.
What you got, Anthony?
I think I'm square, man. I think I got a good idea of who you are as a player, and it's been pretty cool kind of hearing your backstory and your mentality and stuff as you're going into this next season. And are you feeling the pressure of that going into your senior year?
No, sir. I don't. I feel like when you get a lot of pressure, that means you're not really prepared for it. I feel like I'm preparing myself for the moment. I've been working for it. I've been training for it. I'm ready. My whole life I've been waiting for this moment. So the only thing I got to do is just go attack it.
That's a good mentality to have, man. You definitely want to make sure that you put your best foot forward, taking care of business, not a lot of distractions. I think this is the year. Definitely distractions need to be cut to a minimum. You need to go out there with the utmost amount of confidence and not a whole lot of things on your mind. Obviously, you're on pace to graduate and stuff like that.
Yes, sir.
How does that feel? Being at a school like Texas A&M, which is really, really big in academics, and able to keep a high GPA as well as play as a high level of football, man. How's that for you?
It feels really good. I love A&M. The Aggie Network is serious, so I'll always be connected to A&M no matter what it is. After football, I always have my Aggie ring, and I have my graduate saying I'm a Texas A&M Aggie graduate. So, that's a really big thing. That was one part of my choices to actually come to school here is because of that. So yeah.
One more thing too, I want you to it's something we haven't had the opportunity to talk about. NIL is here. It's been here for some years now. Tell me what kind of advice you would give kids in regards to NIL on picking the right school, not necessarily based off the financial part all the way, but based off being a proper fit. I think that's one of the things that I'm big on in the NIL space, making sure that we pair a kid with the right system, whether that's right defensive scheme, right coordinator, right position coach. Was that one of the biggest factors into you choosing A&M, or was it more a little bit of everything, like the finances, the distance, and the coaching staff?
I think my biggest thing when it was a recruiting process for me was I was trying to really just go to a system where I could play vertical, go play fast, also get coached by a coach I'm really close with, like Coach E. Me and him had a really close relationship throughout my whole time I was getting recruited. So it was hard to not come to A&M, and plus distance did play a factor. It's only an hour away from Katy, so that is part of the reason. But I think the biggest thing is if you're choosing it to go to a school based off of money, you're not going for like the scheme and football. That's the main reason that you're getting the money is for football. So I feel like if you want to make it to that next level, you can't choose based off the money. You got to choose off of what's going to be best for you and what's going to get you to that next level.
Well said, my brother. Well, look, man, we appreciate you coming on. We don't want to keep you long. We know you're pretty busy. Thank you for coming on. I'm looking forward to you doing some big things this year. First team all SEC, and playing some really good ball. Don't want to get into numbers. I want you to be able to focus on making the best out of whatever situation you're in. But again, thank you for coming on, man. And we'll definitely be talking to you soon in the future, man. We're gonna watch you in the spring and see how it looks in the fall, man. And when the smoke clears, I got a great feeling that you'll be victorious, my brother.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me too. For sure. Yes, sir.
Thanks for coming on, DJ.
All right, brother.
All right.